Hello everybody. Hello Crystal Palace. Hello Norwood. Hello, it's Luke. It's Luke Adamson. I'm back. I'm back in Crystal Palace. I have been in St Albans. If you've been watching any of my Saturday broadcasts, my live lunches from the St Albans Arena, where I'm performing in Peter Pan. But I am back at the moment because we're in pre-production for Oh No It Isn't. As many of you may have seen, I've been going on about it for months now, that it's a play that I've written about two actors that play the pantomime dames in a regional production of Cinderella. And of course, yesterday we were hit with the news that as of tomorrow, London will be going into Tier 3, which of course means no performances, which is a bit of a bummer, to use a very, very strong word. However, we are not to be deterred. We are going online. The show must go online. So we're ploughing on with rehearsals because we're desperate to share some joy, some fun with everybody this Christmas. And this show does exactly that. So we thought we've started. We may as well go on and finish what we've started. So I'm joined today by the wonderful John Gregor. How are you doing, John?
I'm very well, Luke. How are you?
Excellent. I'm good, thank you. Thank you for asking. Nobody ever asks me how I am. I always say, how are you? And they say, yeah, I'm good. And I'm like, could ask me, but nobody ever does. And John is playing Mr. Worth in the production of Oh No It Isn't. Now, that's a role that I originally played myself, based quite a lot on myself and my life in theatre and my life in pantomime. But John, you played it for the first time last year in another production down in Cornwall, didn't you?
Yeah. We played in Bodmin in another library, so I'm used to to working in libraries. So yeah, we played in Bodmin Library. Went on a tour to Foy, to Truro, to Lanson, quite a few different places.
Nice. And that was. I mean, did you know the company before? It was Heart of
No,
Theatre.
no, not at all. It was very much this kind of the thing with actors where you go along, you audition for the role, you get the role, and then you meet the other actors and the crew on the first day.
There's something really exciting about that. I love that aspect of the job, that you're suddenly thrown together with people you've never met, and then a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, you've got a brand new show, a brand new production.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of had worked out well in the audition, actually, because we auditioned in pairs. Being able to say it's basically just two people and two people talking. So the actor who I auditioned with, we both got the role. So we had actually sort of worked together a little bit before.
Ah, that's brilliant. I didn't know that you'd auditioned together. And are you from that area of the world yourself? Because I noticed you're wearing an Exeter City Football Club top today.
So it's nice and warm. Yes, I am. I'm originally from Exeter, but I've lived up in London for about 30 years, and I live in Crystal Palace. I live just down the road from the library.
And that's wonderfully serendipitous when it came to potentially doing this show, and when it became obvious that I would be unavailable to reprise the role of Mr. Worth. And I knew from when you actually messaged me when you were doing the show before, and you said you lived just on the street next to me, could we chat about the script? And we met up, and so immediately I thought, well, if I can't do it, maybe John could. And luckily you were available and you were keen.
Yes. Like a lot of performers and freelancers at the moment, I'm available for quite a lot of
Yeah, if there's anybody out there looking for any actors for any kind of work, there are a heck of a lot of us needing some work. But you were keen to come back and do it again, which says you must have enjoyed doing it last time.
Yeah, I love the show. I just of course you're the writer, so yeah.
You could give me your honest opinion. It's fine.
No, I love doing it because it's like sort of myself and the other actors said on the way down to rehearsing it in Cornwall, we said sort of like normally as an actor you'll do a lot of research into parts and sort of do quite a bit of study about the life of the person, and we thought we don't have to do that because we're actors. So we're actors playing actors. So there's lots of things that that you can bring from your own experience, and also there's so much in this play that kind of rings true. I've worked with both Mr. Worth and Mr. Chancery on quite a few occasions, and also various percentages of both of them. So there's so much that kind of rings true in it. And there's also a kind of there's also certainly for Mr. Worth's character, because he likes to view himself as an arch professional, that he is, that he is the epitome of the sort of professionalism, is that there's a kind of little bit of danger there, and I think for actors kind of looking at that going, yeah, that could actually be me, if I've made those same sort of life choices that he has made, that character could easily be me.
Yeah, yeah. And what I found so interesting when I first did it was that, because I wrote it entirely from my own experience, and there's a lot of anecdotes and stories in there that have actually happened to me or to people I know. But then when we first did it, it was the amount of people within the industry, within the performing sort of the show business world, that could identify with so much of it. And it just shows that, even though these specific incidents happened to me, that very similar incidents and things have happened to everybody across the world of theatre. What's your experience with pantomime itself? Have you done many pantos? Have you been to many pantos?
I have. I don't really remember much from when I was younger, because I remember going to see a Christmas show at the Northcote Theatre in Exeter when I was about 6 or 7. But I really don't remember much about it. And my first real experience of being in panto was when I was in one, and that was my second ever job. So I was about 20 years old, and I was working in a theatre very much like the theatre in the play. It was a regional theatre in Scotland.
Nice.
And I was playing I was playing the giant in Jack and the Beanstalk.
Wow.
And so I was inside this foam costume, which looked a bit like, I don't know if anybody remembers, It's a Knockout.
Yes.
But it was those massive foam. It was basically that kind of thing. That so I could see out of his belt buckle.
Yeah.
And I had one arm to operate the mouth and one arm to operate the hand, and I had a sort of a mic. And this is the late '80s, so it wasn't sort of very sort of digitally sophisticated. It was I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I used to be able to sweat off last night's drinking inside the costume. That was quite good, healthy wise. But also being in Scotland as well, it had a kind of different resonance. The giant almost became a kind of anti-hero in a way, in that whenever he said fee fi fo fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman, the crowd went wild,
cheering,
yeah.
Excellent. And because I think that panto is most people's first visit to a theatre, and for some people it's the only time they visit a theatre. And I sort of touch on that within the piece, because certainly the character that you play and that I played and that is based on myself comes to pantomime from the point of view of a classically trained actor.
Yeah.
A jobbing actor that, pantomime is a big part of his year. Whereas for a lot of people, they go to pantomime for somebody from X Factor or Britain's Got Talent. And so it's part of the play is about that disparity between those who need the theatre, and it is a lifeline for them, and that's their job, that's how they make their money, and then those that are sort of parachuted in just to draw in the crowds. What's your opinion on that and those kind of pantos?
Well, I don't mind. I always kind of say, if somebody can do the job, then that's fine. So if they want to use somebody off X Factor or Love Island, or as long as they can do the job, I've got no problem with it, because I can understand if you put someone on TV and because I look at something like that and I go, oh right, it's so and so from so and so, I might go and see that, and they're bound to say that rather than a jobbing actor like myself. So it doesn't bother me unless they're no good. If they're no good, I kind of think you could have got somebody better. Yeah,
because I think back to was it a few years ago when Stacey Solomon was in The Jungle, and then she was flown back and went straight into a pantomime, I think in London, and she was playing a fairy, and she just sat on a sort of a swing reading the script from a notebook, and I'm like, they've paid a lot of money for tickets to see somebody that isn't an actor sit and read a script.
Somebody reading it in. Yeah, that's not good.
And that kind of thing is partly the reason why I wrote the play, because panto is so important to me and was such a big part in my journey into theatre, and yet to see what it's sort of the way it can be done, I think really frustrates me. If there was say 3 words you would use to describe this play to try and convince anybody that might be watching this at home to come and see it, what would you say?
I would say hilarious, because it is, and you don't need to be sort of someone who has been involved in theatre to enjoy it, because it's very much about two people who are in a working relationship, which is going badly wrong. And I think anyone who's found themselves in that situation in any profession will tap into that. So I'd say it's hilarious. It's also irreverent. It doesn't take any prisoners in terms of looking at holy cows or anything like that. And also I think it's very poignant. It has a great poignancy about it. About certainly for a character I play, about growing older, and also sort of the choices and the consequences of the choices that we make, and kind of these things can come back to you, because there is a thing in sort of working in theatre that basically you're together for 8 weeks, or sometimes up to 3 months, and then you don't see each other again. So there is a certain kind of type of character who will do all sorts of kind of risque stuff because they know they're never going to see any of these people again. But there's certainly within this, there's type of that, and there's also looking at the consequences of the actions of both the characters and how they kind of will rebound upon them.
I love those words that you've chosen.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Hilarious, irreverent, and poignant. So if you are interested in some hilarious, irreverent, and poignant entertainment, ladies and gentlemen of the viewing audience, then I'm going to tell you now how you can take part and enjoy some of that. But for now, we're going to say goodbye to John, and I'm going to bring in my associate, Joseph Lindo. So, John, thank you so much for joining us. And I'll see you very shortly, as we're going to go into rehearsals this afternoon. But now I'm going to welcome into the studio my associate from JLA Productions, Mr. Joseph Lindo. Now, as you can see, Rin is just swapping microphones over. We're very COVID secure here. Everybody is obviously masked. We have been temperature checked. We've all sanitized. We're keeping our distance. And so we've got a new microphone for Joe there. And can we hear you, Joe? Speak to me.
Yeah, you can. My name's Joe. I have got a microphone. It's a lovely microphone, and Rin's just given to me.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Rin's giving us thumbs up so we can hear you. This is all good.
Fantastic.
So, Joe, we are going to live stream Oh No It Isn't to the world.
Yeah. Absolutely, and that's that's a very good point. Actually, it's one of the positives. Obviously, it's very sad for us and for everyone in the theatre that that we're going into tier 3 and all the live performances are going to be cancelled. But with every cloud, there's a silver lining, and it means that in many ways we've got a broader reach. In some ways, we're not limited to the capacity of a socially distanced audience. The sky's the limit theoretically.
Absolutely. So we've gone from a potential audience of 100 to a potential audience of what? 60 million?
Well, quite. I mean, yeah. Whoever
everybody in the world,
every internet user on the planet is going to watch Oh No It Isn't. That's what's going to happen.
Absolutely. We're optimistic.
So, but yeah, no. There are, as I say, there's every cloud has a silver lining. That's one of them. The way it's going to work is that we're going to perform the Thursday evening show as normal. It'll be a live show. It will be it'll be a live piece of theatre, and we'll have multiple cameras being live edited and streamed out on Thursday evening to YouTube. So that will be reserved for existing ticket holders, so they can watch some live theatre that they've been so looking forward to. It's just that they'll do it in the comfort of their own home in their pajamas, rather than having to get dressed and coming to the theatre, which no one really wants to do.
Well,
anyway.
I always go to the theatre in my pajamas.
It's just better, far more enjoyable.
You get your slippers on.
Yeah, it's massive. I think that's become the new norm. I think just pajamas at the theatre should become standard practice, or a onesie.
Yeah. Yes. So if you are going to watch the live stream on Thursday night, send us pictures of your pajamas
and or onesies.
And or onesies. So we're gonna live stream the performance as it would have happened and will happen on Thursday night. And anybody that has bought a ticket to any of the performances will be able to watch that stream live on YouTube. We will be getting in touch with any ticket holders individually. I would like to say at this point, it is just Joe and I that run JLA Productions. We're doing everything ourselves, as well as directing and producing the show and doing the sound and lighting. So if you're thinking, hang on a minute, I've paid out 60 quid for tickets and they've not got back to me yet, we will, we promise.
Yeah. So that's it's sort of our to-do list. After sorting out all this, we've been working out what's going to happen, and now we wanted to wait till we've got all the information before we can go to people and go, right, this is what the offer is now, this is the situation, we understand this is not what you bought tickets for, and if you want your money back, then we completely understand.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you are interested in watching it online, even if you're not interested in watching it online, but just want to support the arts and go, you know what, I understand how hard it is for you, then anything that you can, any money that you can continue to give to us or ask, not ask it back, would be massively appreciated and help us.
I mean, at the end of the day, we have still hired the costumes, we have still paid the actors for their rehearsal time, and we're not multimillionaires. We're not sitting on a bank of vast amounts of cash that we're just splashing into the arts. We're working actors ourselves, and we thought we had an opportunity to potentially bring some joy and some fun to Crystal Palace over the Christmas festive period, and
hopefully we still will. And that's the other point as well, is it's not just going to be on Thursday night. That'll be the existing ticket holders. They'll get the live experience as it's performed, as if they were sat there, albeit through a lens. And then after that, we will have the sort of finished film, for want of a better word, available to people to watch on Facebook and various other platforms. We might keep it up on YouTube possibly.
Absolutely, yeah.
And people will be able to watch that and donate through various means, through Facebook. I think there's a direct donate button. There'll probably be links available and stuff if you're watching through YouTube. There'll be ways in which if you watch the film, it'll essentially be treated like a pay what you think, pay what you decide, basically. So existing ticket holders will get the live experience on Thursday night. After that, anyone who wants to watch the after the fact, they can do it in their own time, at their leisure, and if they go, that was fantastic, it's a real shame I couldn't see it, totally worth the 15 quid ticket price that I would have paid if I could, here's 15 quid, you'll be able to do that. If you think it's worth 5, you can give us 5. If you think it's worth nothing, then you don't have to give us anything.
But that would be very Ebenezer Scrooge like.
So
there were, of course, a few people that bought what I was very much looking forward to in the deluxe tickets, which would have guaranteed you a glass of mulled wine and a mince pie upon entry, but obviously we can no longer do that. However,
I did have a wonderful idea, which Luke was, perhaps not sincerely in favour of, but certainly toyed with, of me cycling round to everyone's house and posting a mince pie through their letterbox, so they can enjoy the mince pie whilst watching it.
I think it's a strong idea.
I think it's real, Delivery mince pies with your theatre in your onesie.
In your onesie.
What more could you ask for?
In fact, you have to answer the door in a onesie, and if you don't answer the door in a onesie, you don't get your mince pie.
Exactly.
There we go.
But what that does mean, of course, is obviously if you want to give us the price of your ticket, but don't want to pay for a mince pie you never got, then you can have back as much or as little of your ticket as you wish, basically.
And in terms of technically, this is something that we've never really done before.
No, I mean, you and I are both experienced in TV and film work as well as stage work. We trained at the Academy of Live and Recorded Art, so we have a lot of experience in that, both in front and behind the camera. You've obviously just started your own Luke Adamson TV thing, and I helped a sort of DOP cameraman, whatever, on Waterloo Bridge just the other week. But we have the fantastic help of Upper Norwood Library Hub's Rin, who is their technical manager. She's here with us at the moment, managing this.
She's looking very proud over there by the computer.
There she is. So she's fantastic. She's got a lot more knowledge than we've got a small amount of knowledge, but hers is vastly beyond our own.
And she has the technology.
To do it. So she's going to be helping us make this the best it possibly can. One of the ways that we're doing that, and we're really excited about that, a lot of other online offerings haven't got, is it will be multi-camera.
Yes.
It won't just be one fixed thing and you'll be sat there watching it. There'll be multi-camera, there'll be live vision mixing happening, which will allow us to, focus on certain actors at certain moments that are, and treat it almost like a television show, like a soap or whatever, not a
Absolutely.
soap.
A multi-camera piece.
A multi-camera piece, and it'll be basically live edited with the vision mixing and switching between angles. And there's some possibilities in there. It opens up another silver lining, is it opens up a whole realm of possible play with that. How do we use the camera? If the audience are now cameras, how do we do that? Are there any gags that we can do?
There are.
Can we?
There are definitely gags, and I've already been thinking of some.
It's all these sorts of things that opens up a whole new layer of possibilities in terms of interacting with technology. Where normally we might have been interacting with audience, or not interacting. We don't have to get 2 meters, but you know what I mean. Referencing.
And I actually did do, when I was at college back in when was it? Early 2000s. I was doing media production course, and we did a live broadcast multi-camera thing. So I have experience of vision mixing.
We did a session at Alra, I believe, didn't we? I remember
we did do multi-camera
in second year or something. We did some multi-camera stuff, and we played around with live vision mixing. So we have a bit of experience in it, and we it's a whole, as I say, it's a whole new. It's another person in the room. It's another actor in many ways. And
we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. Because I've asked Robbie and I've asked John as well, if you were to describe this show in 3 words, what 3 words would they be? Remembering that this could be a family audience. You're trying to count to 3 now.
I'm trying to work. Do hyphens count? Can I hyphenate words?
It depends what words you're hyphenating. If it's a word that is genuinely hyphenated, if you're just going to hyphenate 2 words like
I'm going to hyphenate
banana
7
hedgehog,
words into 1 word. I think bittersweet's 1 word anyway, isn't it?
Bittersweet's 1 word.
Bittersweet's 1 word. So I'm going to call it a bittersweet love letter. Brackets to the industry. That's bittersweet love letters 3, and then to the industry.
I see.
You see.
So what you've done there is you've taken 3 words from the press release.
Well, I think which we both worked on. So you can't call me out for using what is essentially our own phrase. Joe, come up with some phrasing. All right, we use the phrasing that I've already come up with and we're using professionally. You can't have a go at me for.
So if you were to describe the show, oh no, it isn't. It's just the title of the show, Joe.
You describe this. How would you do it? Well, I would do the press release that I've already described the show with. Is what I'm going to do, obviously.
As you can see, we are a highly professional bunch.
Very much professional. But, we have a good working relationship, we have the sentiments of humour, and hopefully that humour will come across with Oh No It Isn't, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it as much as we enjoy it.
And we are going to go now off into the afternoon and rehearse. I don't even know what time it is. How long have I done? I don't want to shortchange you, viewer. You tune in every day, some of you.
You single individual.
Yes. My mum is probably she didn't even watch. She didn't. Yeah, she's fed up with me. But yeah, we are gutted that we can't welcome you into the library, but we are still going to provide you with some live entertainment. For those of you that might not be based around Crystal Palace or Norwood, maybe based more further afield if you're watching, Peter Pan in St Albans is in Tier 2. So I am still going to work on Friday and giving my tootles.
I beg your pardon?
I am giving my tootles in Peter Pan at the Alban Arena. Alban Arena? I've never said that. The Alban Arena until the 3rd of January. So you can come and join and watch that if you fancy some live entertainment. And if you fancy just a really good laugh, then look out for us sharing more information on Oh No It Isn't over the coming week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Thank you to everybody that has bought a ticket, and we will be in touch with you. But for now, I'm going to wrap up, and we'll see you very soon. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Cheers, guys.